Hi, it's Valerie from My Stitch and Dollyverse. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you some of the vintage Barbie clothes I found thrifting and how I plan on mending them. Let's go. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Valerie. I am a former fashion and costume designer. I'm a doll collector. And on this channel, you will find thrifted dolls, new dolls, and how I sew fashion for dolls. So stick around, subscribe, and ring the bell. Okay, so I have this little vintage suitcase. I'm all about the vintage suitcases. And it has some fashions in here that I got thrifting. I love finding, of course, thrifted fashions for dolls, especially Barbie, right? You find that often. And in this suitcase, actually, there are some handmade stuff, which I absolutely love. Some things that I have made from patterns, from, sewing patterns. Some of them are old, like this one. Not the greatest, I would say. Something I made. The bust was very short once I was finished with it. Darts perfectly straight and the same length and all of that. This was one of my first attempts a long time ago in making a doll dress like this, but I like to keep it around just to see, remind myself, oh yeah, it was hard to do, the darts perfectly or the pleating perfectly or whatever it was, but they have the smallest snaps too on them. So that's one that I did quite some time ago. I have some in here that people have actually knitted. And if you've ever, this isn't mine, but I mean, somebody else did this. But sometimes the sweaters don't really work out when they're knitted, especially on such a miniature scale. They look like really chunky and funky and don't really work. Some of these doll clothes that I bought are handmade, but they're vintage. You could tell by the print on the fabric and the style of the dress as well. This is just so cute, and it's really well made for a handmade, vintage garment like this, especially when you're looking at all the little hand stitching that's on here. This is a really cool little garment, but you can see that the scale of the flowers really works with the scale of the doll, which is something you always have to keep in mind. So these pants, these are really cool pants. Obviously it's supposed to be like this one, gathered at the bottom, bell like that, but open you can see the size of the pattern and what it looks like. These ones need to be remade because what happens with this kind of fabric is it starts to fray like that and run like nylon, right? It is nylon. And then the seams are all popped. Probably cotton thread. As you can see, lots of holes. So what I would do is something like this. I would keep the original, but I would use it as a pattern to make another pair because this is really a cute and unique style. And this jacket is really sweet that somebody made. I love the print on it. It is like a fuzzy wool, I'm guessing, kind of coat. Cotton. It's cotton, sorry. But, you can see that it's starting to completely come out of the seam right there. I could, because it's a belled sleeve, re-sew the parts that are coming apart and maybe somehow fix it where it won't fray. Maybe even put like a binding on the edge there. That would all have to be hand sewn because look, even on the neck it's also fraying and coming apart, which is a bummer. What you can also do is get a little piece of fusible interfacing and put it in there so it'll stop fraying, and I would use white obviously, and then sew it back together so it gives it more of a structure and you don't really see the interfacing so much in there. Yeah, it's really cute. And it's got a set-in snap. which is like, you know, for jeans and whatnot. So a really cute little jacket. This bag that I got had a lot of really cool fashions in it. This dress, it was printed like this, and somebody made it by hand. It is not an official Barbie, but it has like this border and stuff. At first I thought it was a handkerchief dress, but like upon looking at it, I can see that it was printed like this, but that's really sweet. Another little dress is probably like a skipper. Oh, let's see, it has a tag. Yep, skipper. It says skipper in there. Really cute dress. And it's in good shape, actually. It's not falling apart, so that's good. You can always wash these like by hand, because maybe the white isn't as vibrant as it used to be, kind of, you know, getting a little bit brown in spots. I also have these skirts that somebody made by hand, are on the machine, right? That are just basic little skirts that have a bound, like a binding for, there's several different ones, several different colors, a binding here, and then a snap in the back. Very simple, and the print is very colorful, and it works. Even though it's a larger scale print, it still works for that kind of like 70s kind of style. And here's another dress. This one is really cute. It has a built-in crinoline, which is really cool. And usually this stuff just needs a pressing. If any of the tulle is ripped, it's not that hard to, you know, sew some more back in there. This looks like an official dress, but I don't see any label anywhere. But yeah, very cute. A couple of the other things I have in here are like like leggings or tights. This one is coming apart down here, and it's starting to run as well, which happens with nylon. So what you could do is open this up, take it apart, and use it as a pattern, because it is a good fit for Barbie, but also you have to make sure that you have the same amount of stretch in the fabric that you're going to use with it. Otherwise, it's not gonna really fit the same way. Here's another pair. These ones don't have a whole lot of stretch, and to me this looks like it's probably monster high, just the way that it's shaped. But yeah, you could use this as a pattern. So the last one I'm going to show you is this little dress that's kind of like a tutu, like for a ballerina or something, but it's completely shredded underneath. I could put a stay stitch, I could put the clear nail polish or fray check, but really it's gonna make it all crunchy. So you could put a stay stitch through there, which is just, you know, one single stitch. That's a smaller stitch, so it won't fray anymore. The flocked polka dots have come off on there. And then looking on the bodice too, it's got some holes. So there's not a lot I can do about that because that's rayon. I could, like I said before, sew in iron on little pieces of iron-on interfacing so it'll stop fraying. And if it has a hole and I use white interfacing, I would just color it red right there. I mean, it is for a doll. It's not going to be so noticeable, but it's nice to fix these up so they don't just, are destroyed forever. And I noticed that the snap is actually over here, which is good. It's missing on this side, but it's still intact right here. So I just take it off of here and sew it back over on that side. It's nice to have, even though it's not perfect anymore. But just these little mending techniques can help, extend the life of it for a little bit longer. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and stick around. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions about sewing doll clothes or mending doll clothes. And we will get more into it another time. Thanks. Bye.